Uh, Hello everyone. Today we will be talking about graphs, and this is the marking scheme to Form 1 students. And my name is Mr. Zabron Ernest. All right, so let us begin. Question number 1 is the question of graphs, which is having instructions somewhere underneath. All right, the question says, on the grid, draw the graph of x equals to 3. So on the grid, draw the graph of x equal to 3. It's simply a straight line that goes through the value of x equal to 3. So x equal to 3, this number here. X equal to 3, this number here. And the line will be simply looking like that. And you have to label this line x equal to 3 using your pen, right? So x equal to 3, this line, as you can see, is how it has been drawn there. So what you do is simply to label this line, x equals to 3, okay? On the grid, draw the graph of, draw the graph of y equal to 1. Same thing, y equal to 1 is this number here. So simply you draw a horizontal line that goes through y equal to 1. All right, so here you label y equal to 1. So y equals to 1. Write down the coordinates, that is C. Write down the coordinates of where the two lines meet. All right, so the two lines meet somewhere here. So let us try to put a mark somewhere the two lines meet. And the coordinates are, you start recording this number from the x-axis. So the coordinates will be 3. Put a comma, the comma is already there. So x comma y, but the value of y will be this number. So it will be 3, 1, 3, 1. All right, complete the table of values for y equals to 2x plus 4. We are given the equation here, which is y equals to 2x. Y equals to 2x plus 4. So the equation is y equals to 2x plus 4. And then we need to complete the table. So let us start with x equals to 1. So y will be equal to 2 times x is negative 1 plus 4. Y will be equal to 2 times negative 1. This will be negative 2 plus 4. Y will be equal to negative 2 plus 4 is the same as 4 minus 2. And this gives you 2. So the answer here is 2. So you write the answer is 2. All right, keep going. X is 0, y is 4. That part is completed. X is 1. What is the value of y? Okay, so let me do for when x is 1. So we have y equals to 2x plus 4. Y equals to 2 times x. X is 1, so plus 4. Y equals to 2 plus 4. Y will be equal to 6. So you write here 6. All right, keep going. X is 2. What is y? So you go back to the same equation, y equals to 2x plus 4. y equals to 2 times, what is x? X in this case, x is 2. So plus 4. So y will be equal to 2 times 2 is 4. Add 4 here. Y will be equal to 8. So this will be equal to 8. All right. I think you have understood how to do those calculations. Then we have this question 2b. On the grid, draw the graph of y equals to 2x plus 4 for values of x from -1 to 3. For all these values here, -1 to 3. So we have to draw the graph, all right? So what we do, you take your pencil and try to transfer these numbers from the table onto a graph or onto a graph paper. So starting with -1, 2, -1, 2. That means x is -1, y is 2. X is -1, y is 2. So you put a dot somewhere there. And x is 0, y is 4. So x is 0, y is 4. So it will be somewhere here. X is 1 somewhere here, and y is 6. So you put a dot somewhere there. X is 2, y is 8. So you keep a dot somewhere here. These are just coordinates. And then you take a line, you take a pencil, draw a line connecting these points here, right? The line you see here, the line which has been drawn here is what we call the graph of y equals to 2x plus 4. So you label that line, or you label that graph, which is y equals to 2x plus 4. So you do labeling here. Y equals to 2x plus 4. This is what we call the graph of the equation y equals to 2x plus 4. This line you see here is what we call the graph. All right, keep going. Next question is this one here. Question number 3. On the grid, draw the graph of y equal to -2. On this grid, on this graph paper, on the grid, draw the graph of y equal to -2. So y equal to -2 is this number here. So what we simply do is you take a ruler and draw a line through y equals to -2. And then you do labeling that this is the graph of y equals to -2. Next question is, again, to complete the table of values for y equals to 3x plus 1. All right, so what you're supposed to do is to complete this table. So you go back to this equation, which is y equals to 3x plus 1. And then you find the value of y when x is -1. So it will be 3 times -1 plus 1. Y will be equal to 3 times -1 will be -3 plus 1. Y will be equal to -3 plus 1 is the same as 1 minus 3. And y will be equal to -2. So here you write -2. You can pause the video and try the remaining other questions, okay? But for now, let us try to erase everything so that we go for the next part. So we go back to the equation, which is y equals to 3x plus 1, y equals to 3 times x, but in this case, x is 0 plus 1. Now, any number times 0 equals 0, so y will be equal to 0 plus 1, that equals to 1. So here, the value of y will be equal to 1. You can pause the video and try the other blanks here. All right, so far so good. Let us proceed. This is x is 1. So you go back here, y equals to 3 times x is 1. So you write 1 here, plus 1, y will be equal to 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1, y will be equal to 4. So you write 4 over there. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You have this time x is 2, so this will be y equals to 3 times x is 2. So this will be y equals to 6 plus 1, y will be equal to 7. So here you write 7. All right, so now what is next is the table is completed. So part C is on the grid, draw the graph of y equals to 3x plus 1. So this remains the same as how we have done. So x is 0, that means plot the points. X is -1, y is -2. So x is -1, x is -1, and y is -2. So x -1, y -2. -1 is here, -2 somewhere here, so you keep a dot there. All right, then you keep going. X is 0, y is 1. X is 0, y is 1. So we'll be somewhere there. And then x is 1, y is 4. X is 1, x is 1, y is 4. So keep a dot somewhere there. X is 2, y is 7. X is 2, y is 7. So you keep a dot there. Then you take a pencil, then try to connect those points using a ruler. So you draw that way. You connect these points. You connect all these points using a straight line, like that. You connect it that way. So you draw a line passing through. You draw a line passing through the given points, or the points which you have plotted over there. And then you remember to label that this line you see there, this line you see here, is what we call the graph, the graph of y equals to 3x plus 1. So here you label that this line you see, is what we call the graph of y equals to 3x. Just hold on. Okay, so good. So you just label y equals to 3x plus 1. See that? All right, so that is done. Then on the grid, draw the graph. That is done. And you can pause the video, draw that line, and that is what you call a graph of y equals to 3x plus 1. All right, keep going. We go to question number 4A. Question number 4A is complete the table. Again, we're supposed to complete the table, but this time the equation is y equals to 1/2x plus 1. All right, so we have x is 0, so you write here y equals to 1/2 times x is 0 plus 1. So y will be equal to any number times 0 equals 0. So 0 plus 1 equals to 1. So here you write 1. All right, keep going here. X is 1. X is 1. So we go back to the same equation. And this time, x is 1. So it will be half times x is 1 plus 1. Y will be equal to half times 1 is half plus 1. Y will be equal to half. 1/2 means 0.5. When you add 1, the answer will be 1.5. So here you can write 1.5, or you can write 1/2, or you can write 3/2. Same thing, okay? All right, so you write 1.5, then you keep going. Keep going to the next value of x is 2. So this will be y equals to 1/2 times x is 2 plus 1. So y will be equal to, simplify these numbers, you get this is 1 plus 1. So y will be equal to 2. So yeah, you write 2. All right, you keep going. This will be y equals to 1 over 2 times x. But in this case, x is 3 plus 1. Y will be equal to half times 3. This is the same as 3 over 2 plus 1. And this will be the same as 3 over 2. This is the same as 1 over 2 plus 1. This is the same as 1.5 plus 1. This is the same as 2.5. So here you write 2.5. Then the last part is x equals to 4. So you go back to the same equation, y equals to 1 over 2 times x. But in this case, x is 4 plus 1. Y equals to 2 by 2, 1 by 2, 2. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1. Y will be equal to 3. So here you write 3. All right, so the table is completed, and then we go to the next part. The next part is on the grid, on this graph paper here. Draw the graph of y equals to half x plus 1. Okay, so let's try to zoom out so that we can see everything, but that is more than enough. All right, so on the grid, draw the graph of y equals to half x plus 1. All right, so x is 0, y is 1. X is 0. X is 0, y is 1. So x is 0. X is 0 somewhere here, but y is 1. So you put a dot somewhere there. X is 0, y 1. X is 1, y is 1.5. Okay, x is 1, but y is 1.5. So x is 1, y is 1.5. This is 1. 1.5, that is 2. So 1.5, x is 1, y.5 will be there. Okay. And then you have 2, 2. X is 2, y is 2. X is 2, y is 2. So they meet somewhere there. X is 3, y is 2.5. So x is 3. X is 3, y is 2.5. So x is 3 here. Now x is 3, y is 2.5. So it will be somewhere there, somewhere here. Or x is 4, y is 3, x is 4, x is 4, y is 3. So it will be somewhere there. So x is 4, y is 3. Then you need to draw a line. You need to draw a line connecting these points. You need to draw a line connecting these points here. See? So the line should go through all the points you have plotted. Right? So the way how we do. That is the way how we do that. Okay? So you have to label that y equals to 1 over 2x plus 1. This equation has a graph which passes through these points. Right, you keep going. You have the next question will be that question. Okay, complete the table. We are supposed to complete the table again. Okay, so the process remains the same. the process remains the same as how we have done. Complete the table of values for y equals to 4x plus 2. So the equation is y equals to 4x plus 2. So y equals to 4x, but what is x? X is -1 plus 2. Y equals to 4 times -1 is -4 plus 2. Y will be equal to 2 minus 4, and y will be equal to 2 minus 4 is -2. So you write here -2. All right, so keep going. This is y equals to 4 times x, but x is 0. X is 0 in this case, so y will be equal to any number times 0 is 0, plus 2, 0 plus 2 is 2. So this becomes 2. Keep going, you have y equals to 4 times x plus 2, y equals to 4 plus 2, y equals to 6. So you write here 6. You can pause the video and try when x is 2, but otherwise let us continue. 4 times x is 2 plus 2, y will be equal to 8 plus 2, y equals to 10. So here you write 10. All right, so far so good. So next we'll be plotting the coordinates in here, in this table. Put them on the grid or put them on a graph paper. So we have x is -1, y is -2. X is -1, y is -2. So x is -1, x is -1, y is -2. Would be somewhere there. X is 0, y is 2. X is 0, y is 2. So it will be somewhere there. X is 1, y is 6. So it will be somewhere there. And x is 2, y is 10. X is 2, y is 10. So it will be somewhere here. And then you need to take a ruler and connect those points. You connect those points using a ruler. Connect those points using a ruler, right? So make sure that you set your line like that so that it appears to go through all the points you have plotted here. All right, so far so good. So to me it looks good, but you have to make sure that all the points are cut by the line. All right, then you have to label that this is the graph for y, that you have to label that this is a graph for y equals to 4x plus 2. All right, so let us continue. Use your graph to solve 4x plus 2 equals 0. Now, this is the graph. Let me try to zoom out so that we can see everything. Let me try to zoom out, yes, like that. Now, use your graph. We are supposed to use this graph. We are supposed to use this line we have drawn to solve the equation 4x plus 2 equals 0. Equals 0. Now, what do? We can see that this line or this graph is of equation y equals to 4x plus 2. 4x plus 2, this is the equation y equals to 4x plus 2 you can try to switch them around, and then the equation becomes 4x plus 2 equals y. Switch them around. Now, what does it mean? What does it imply? It means that y, in this case, y equals 0. Can you see that? Y equals 0. So y is equal to 0. Y is equal to 0 on the x-axis. Y is equal to 0 on the x-axis. Y is equal to 0 on the x-axis. On this place here, this is where y equals to 0. That place here, this is where y equals to 0. Now, can you notice that this line, which is the x-axis, is cutting our graph somewhere here. It's cutting our graph somewhere here. Now, at this point where the line y equal to 0, which is the x-axis, at this point where the line y equal to 0, which is x-axis, cuts the graph we have drawn, is where we read the value of x. Now, in this case, the value of x at that point, the value of x at that point will be negative 0.5. So the value of x at this point here is negative 0.5. Give reason. The reason is x equals to 0.5, x equal to negative 0.5, the reason being at x equals to negative 0.5 is where, at that point, is where y equals to 0. At x equal to negative 0.5 is the point where y equals to 0. So that is the very short reason, but you can still give your own opinion. There is nothing like a wrong opinion. Every opinion is correct. Every opinion is correct, provided that it is within the point of discussion. All right, the next question is question number, what is this question? Let me check. All right, question number 6. Now, question number 6 is the question about angles. So we have moved from graphs, then we are on the part of angles. All right, PQ is a straight line. PQ is a straight line. Work out the size of the angle marked X. All right, so PQ is a straight line. PQ is a straight line. Now, if it is a straight line, it means that this angle, 126 plus the value of X, will be equal to 108. Because all angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. So 126 degrees plus X, which is unknown, the answer must be 180 degrees. So X will be equal to this positive 126 will be shifted on that side, and it should be X equals to 180 degrees minus 126. Why? Because this is positive. As it goes on the other side, it changes sign. So X will be equal to 180 minus 126. This will be 4. 7 minus 2, that will be 5. So the answer will be 54 degrees. Checking, this will be yes. So the value of X, work out the size of the angle marked X. The answer will be 54 degrees. All right, keep going. B, Roman 1, work out the size of the angle marked Y. Work out the size of the angle marked Y. Let's try to zoom out so that we can see everything. work out the size of the angle marked y. All right, so we have already found the value of x. So the value of x here is 54. So we want to find the value of the size of the angle marked y. All right, so let us try to zoom in. We want to find the angle marked y, this angle here. So what we do is something very simple. Something very simple. The value of x is 54. Now what it means by these lines, it means that this triangle here is isosceles triangle, meaning that these base angles here are equal. So if this is 54, also that will be 54 degrees. Now we know that angles in a triangle, add up to 180 degrees, you see? So if you have a triangle, all angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So what we basically do is to take this angle, which is 54 degrees, plus again this angle, which is 54 degrees, plus this missing angle, y, that will be giving you 180 degrees. So you do 54 plus 54, this will be 108 degrees, plus y, that will be equal to 180 degrees. So y will be equal to 180 degrees minus 180 degrees. So y will be equal to 72 degrees. 72 degrees. So that will be the value of y. So you write y is 72 degrees. Give reasons for your answer. Give reasons for your answer. We have two reasons, like as I said earlier. Base angles of isosceles triangle are equal. Base angles of isosceles triangle are equal. And you could see here that when I got 54 here, I also said that angle equals to 54. That is one of the reasons I used. Now give reasons, we can give two of them. Base angles of isosceles triangle are equal. Second reason is that angles inside a triangle. Angles inside a triangle add up to 180 degrees. Those are two reasons which I have talked about while I was doing that question, right? So I hope that helps. Then let us go to the next question. Next question is also about angles. Work out the size of the angle A. We are given a shape. Here. We are given a shape here which has 4 angles. A shape which has 4 angles. Now, when you add angles in a shape with 4 sides, this shape is known as a quadrilateral. This shape is known as a quadrilateral. So any shape Any shape with 4 angles and 4 sides is known as a quadrilateral. Remember what I said? I said that angles in a triangle, angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So how many triangles do we have in a quadrilateral? We have 2 triangles. We have the first triangle somewhere here, and we'll have the second triangle somewhere there. So if in each triangle we have a total of 180 degrees and 180 degrees, so when you add 180 degrees, you'll get a total of 360 degrees. Now, what does it mean? It means that all angles inside a quadrilateral add up to 360 degrees. So to work out the size of the angle marked A, simply take this angle, which is A, plus this angle, which is 120 degrees, plus this angle, which is 140 degrees, plus this angle, which is 58 degrees. That total should be equal to 360 degrees, should be equal to 360 degrees. Collecting like terms, we find that A plus, now you have to take a calculator and add all those numbers. So what we do is basically add those numbers using your calculator, which in that case will be equal to the answer on the left-hand side. Okay. So what we are going to do is try to find the total of all those numbers on the left-hand side of the equation. All right. Now, how do we do that? You have to take your calculator and add all those numbers. So take 120 plus 140 plus 58 plus 58. So you have 120 plus 140 plus 58. That gives you 318. So it will be A plus 318. So it will be A plus 318 degrees equals to 360 degrees. So 318. So this will be equal to 318. 318 will be subtracted on that side. So it would be A equals to 360 degrees minus 380 degrees. A equals to, so you take your calculator and then do that calculation there. Okay, so what is 360 minus 318? 360 minus 318, this will be giving you 2. This will be 5 minus 1. 5 minus 1 will be 42. 42 degrees. So here you write 42 degrees. And this gives you, that is 10, that's 10, 5, 6. So the answer will be 42 degrees. So work out the size of the angle marked A, the answer will be 42 degrees there. Okay. All right, so far so good. Let us keep going. Question number 8. Question number 8. in the diagram, ABC is a triangle. Yeah, in this diagram you see there, ABC is a triangle, ACD is a straight line, ACD is a straight line. Angle CAB, this angle here is 50, and angle ABC, this angle here is 60. Work out the size of the angle marked X. Now there is a theorem which says that we have a theorem which says that at the exterior angle of a triangle, exterior angle means the angle formed outside the shape. Exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of two interior. If you're talking about exterior, you also have to talk about interior. So exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of two interior opposite angles. See, that is the theorem. Now, what does this mean? It means that this angle, which is formed outside of a triangle, that angle which is X, will be equal to the sum of these two interior opposite angles. You see, these opposite angles. So this angle outside will be equal to the sum of these two opposite interior angles. So it will be equal to the sum of 50 degrees plus 60 degrees. So when you add those two numbers, you will be getting 110 degrees. So the value of X there will be 110 degrees. All right, I think that helps. You can pause the video and copy this kind of theorem and the working to support your answer. Next question is this one here. Question number 9. Now, question number 9 is a shape which is having a triangle somewhere there and an extended line. So PQR is a straight line, PQR is a straight line, SQ equals to SR. Work out the size of the angle marked X. Work out the size of the angle marked X. All right, so how do we do this? It's simple, very simple. Remember what I said? I said that in a triangle, when you see these symbols, can be double symbol or can even be triple symbol. But what it means or what it indicates that, or it implies that this angle and this angle, they are equal. So if this angle is 50, even that angle will be 50 degrees. Now, to find the value of the angle marked X, just use the concept of angles formed on a straight line should be adding up to 180 degrees, meaning that angle X plus 50 degrees will be equal to 180 degrees. And this will give you 180 degrees minus 50 degrees. And therefore X will be 130 degrees. So work out the size of the angle marked X, the answer is 130 degrees. Give reasons for your answer. Okay. Give reasons for your answer is the reason number 1, reason number 2. Reason number 1 is base angles of isosceles triangle. isosceles triangle are equal, where this symbol stands for a triangle. All right, second reason is that angles on a straight line, angles on a straight line, angles formed at a point on a straight line, add up to 180 degrees. Those are the two reasons which I've used to work out the answers. All right, so question number 10. Question number 10 is that shape there. PQR is a straight line. PQR is a straight line. PQ equals to QS, and that equals to QR. Angle SPQ equals to 25 degrees. This angle here equals to 25 degrees. Now the question is Roman 1. Write down the size of angle W. If you remember my concepts, which I have used earlier, I said that if you have got a triangle like this, and we have these symbols here, this symbol means or indicates that this triangle there is isosceles triangle, and therefore these base angles are equal. So that means W equals to 25 degrees. So W in this case equals to 25 degrees. Now, if W is 25 degrees, then we can find the value of X. We can find the value of the angle marked X. Now, how do we do that? It is known that angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So this will mean X plus 25 degrees plus again 25 degrees. That will give you 180 degrees. So 25 plus 25, that makes 50, equals to 180 degrees. But 50 will be subtracted from 180 degrees. This will give you X equals to 180 degrees minus 50. And X will be equal to 130 degrees. So X will be 130 degrees. All right, so far so good. So this angle here is 130 degrees. Now you are given that if you look on the other side, you can see again a triangle. You can see again a triangle. Now this symbol will mean this angle equals to this angle. So if this angle is Y, even this angle will be marked Y. But if this is 130, this angle is 130, it means this angle will be 50. Why? Because 50 plus 130 should be giving you 180. Now, how do we move from here? All right, so we'll be taking Y plus 50. That will be giving you 180 degrees. Why? Because those are angles in a triangle. So 1Y plus 1Y, this will be making 2Y plus 50 equals to 180 degrees. 2Y will be equal to 180 degrees. You minus 50 degrees. Okay, so keep going. This will give you 2y equals to 180 minus 50 is 130 degrees. So we need to divide by 2 to get the value of y. Y will be equal to 65 degrees. So y will be equal to 65 degrees. So work out the size of the angle marked y, y will be equal to 65 degrees. I hope that helps. So let us proceed. All right, let me finish all the questions of angles. All right, so here we go. We have this question here. This question says, is a diagram which is a diagram which has one part a quadrilateral, another part a triangle. All right, so in the diagram, ABC is a straight line, ABC is a straight line, ABC is a straight line, and BD equals to CD. Work out the size of the angle X. Work out the size of the angle X. Work out the size of the angle X. All right, so this angle is inside a triangle, and there are those two symbols I talked about earlier. So if this angle is X, automatically then that angle will be X. Now, inside a triangle, when you say angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees, so meaning that this angle, which is X, plus this angle, which is X, plus 120 degrees, that should be giving you somewhere around 180 degrees. So X plus X makes 2X plus 120 degrees. That will be equal to 180 degrees. So 2X will be equal to 120 will be subtracted from 180. So that will be giving you 2X equals to 180 minus 120, that makes you 60, over 2, X will be equal to 30 degrees. So work out the size of the angle marked X, so the value of X is 30 degrees. All right, B, work out the size of the angle marked Y. So already here, X is 30 degrees. Now, since this line is a straight line, that means 30 plus that angle, that gives you 180 degrees. So in that case, when you do 180 degrees minus 30 degrees, you will be getting 150 degrees. So this angle is 150 degrees. Right, now remember our discussion, we said that angles in a quadrilateral, angles in a shape known as a quadrilateral add up to 360 degrees. Sorry for that. Add up to 360 degrees. And I have already explained how come 360 degrees. So what we do, let me try to erase this. Let me try to erase all that so that I can get a space for that part there. So take Y plus 150 plus 54 plus 180. This must be giving you a total of 360 degrees. Okay, so this will be equal to, take your calculator, add all those numbers. Let me try to get my calculator there. So, all right, so here we go. we have these numbers here. All right, let me try to adjust my calculator. So put this calculator somewhere here. All right, so here we go. So we have 150 plus 54 plus 180. So we have 150 plus 54 plus 180. The answer is 312. So the answer is 312. So you do 360 degrees equals to y plus 312 degrees. So to get the value of y, this 312 will be subtracted from 360 degrees. When you subtract that, when you take 360, right, when you take 360 minus 312, the answer will be equal to, this will be 8, that will be 5 minus 1 will be 48 degrees. So the value of y equals to 48 degrees. So you write here 48 degrees. All right, let me finish, before I take a break, let me finish all these questions about angles. All these questions about angles. All right, we have Kim, this question number 12. Kim knows that one angle of an isosceles triangle is 48. Kim knows that one angle of an isosceles triangle is 48. He says that one of the other angles must be 66. Explain why Kim is wrong. So Kim is talking about a triangle. He's talking about a triangle like so. Now Kim knows that one angle of isosceles triangle is 48. Suppose this angle is 48 degrees, and this is an isosceles triangle. So automatically, even this angle will be 48 degrees. Now, Kim knows that one angle of isosceles triangle is 48. He says that one of the other angles must be 66. Okay, he says that one of the other angles must be 66. Let's say that angle is 66. Now explain why Kim is wrong. Now let us try to add these. All these angles here: 66 plus 48 plus 48. If this answer here will be less than, if that answer there will be less than 180 degrees, then that will explain why Kim is wrong. Or if that total will be bigger than 180 degrees, also that will explain why Kim is wrong. Let's try to do that. So 6 plus 8 is 6 plus 8 is 14, plus 8 is 22. And then this will be 8, 12, 162. Now, 162, you can try to check from your calculations that when you take 66 plus 48, 66 plus 48 plus 48, if you get the answer which is bigger than 180 or less than 180, then that will be the explanation why Kim is wrong. Okay, so let us try to check again. This will be 8 plus 8, 16, 22, 8, 10, 16. So our answer is less than 180 degrees. So we say that explain why Kim is wrong. Now Kim is wrong. Kim is wrong because if you add 66 plus 48 plus 48, that gives you less than 180 degrees. And mind you, angles in a triangle must add up to 180 degrees. All right, so far so good. Now, before I take a rest, let me check how many questions are left. All right, let me finish up with these questions here, and then I'll take a rest before I come back to you. So we have 13A, this question here. Work out the value of X and Y. All right, so if you look at this diagram here, you can see that this line here is parallel to that line. So for parallel lines, try to look for somewhere like angles which we call them Z-like, a shape like Z. See that? Shape like Z. Shape like Z. If that line is parallel to this line, that means we have to look something like alternate angles. Now, what does it mean? It means that if this angle is X, even this angle will be equal to X. So what we are supposed to do is to find the value of X, which is inside that triangle. So you take 74 plus 71 plus X. That must give you 180 degrees. So now, that thing, that is to say, 74 plus 71, this will be giving you somewhere around 145 degrees, plus X equals to 180 degrees. So to find the value of X, you need to subtract 145 from 180. So this will be giving you somewhere around 35 degrees. See that? So the value of X will be equal to 35 degrees. Now, if you remember what I said that if this angle is X, if this angle here is X, automatically even that angle will be X. Okay? Right, let us try to delete everything there so that we can remain with neat work. Okay, so I said that this angle, if it is X, even this angle will be X. But remember, X is 35, so this angle is 35. So automatically, even that angle will be 35 degrees. So we can find the value of Y now. How do we find the value of y? We know that angles which meet up at a point on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. So take 71 plus 35 plus y plus y. That will be equal to 180 degrees. Angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. So 71 plus 35, that gives you 106 degrees, plus y, that gives you 180 degrees. So to find the value of y, you will be subtracting 106. You'll be subtracting 106 from 180. This gives you somewhere around 74 degrees. See that? So y will be 74 degrees. Now let me stop here. I'll be back for session number 2, which will take us all the way until the last question, which is on slide number 12. So until next time, bye-bye for now.